Hello, this is Colton Solzer doing Module 5, Understanding My Community, USD 494, elementary level. So, customs and traditions, we treat each other like family. We're in a small town and everybody knows everybody. Most of the people in this town have gone to this school, have students in this school, or some kind of family member in the school. So, we all are really a big family, which is amazing. We have our school carnival every year. We sell tickets very inexpensive to families, and the parents can bring their kids, their students, and when they play games, win prizes, getting tickets and stuff like that. They can get basketballs, other games, even bicycles. We do have a math and literacy game night as well. That is a free night. All of our classrooms have games in them, and parents bring their kids and play games with them. Not only are the games free, but we also feed the families this night as well. We have free food for the families before the game, so it's a lot of fun and a cheap, inexpensive um, night for families to come have fun. And then we do have field day at the end of every year, so that's a lot of fun. We get a lot of volunteers, a lot of community volunteers help us with that, which is amazing to see everybody come out and help create that positive attitude with the school and the students. So, population characteristics, education level of the parents. Some have not completed schools or have very limited school, and but most parents have completed school. We have a high population of Hispanic, and so where they came from, education wasn't a huge deal. It was more important for them to be out in the field working. And when they came here, they understand how important education is to their students. So they are a huge supporter of us in helping us get their students where they need to be and keeping them on the right track. They understand the struggle of not being able to read or do math. And so they do definitely understand how important it is for their students to know that information. Breaking down the age, elementary, uh, preschool through the sixth grade, we have 360 students, and then junior high and high school, we have 200 students. The junior high and high school does consist of the 7 through 12. Um, so we do have not a huge school, but we have a pretty good amount. We've been gaining a lot of students every year. As for the sex in the schools, we try and keep it pretty even, male to female, boy to girl ratio in the classrooms, but of course sometimes it's heavy on one or the other. And then again, like I said, we have a big Hispanic population here, but we also, I mean, we're mostly have white, but the white culture, but we do have a pretty big Hispanic culture as well. So, as for communication channels, the school website is one of our biggest. Between that and Facebook are our two biggest ways of communicating to our families. Um, we do have some families that don't own a computer and don't have internet. So, Class Dojo is another great way for us to communicate with our parents because they can have that on their phone and they can have it anywhere they go. So, that's really important to be able to have that communication with the parents. And then they can also ask us questions if they have any, or let us know if their student is going to be late. Community groups, we have the athletic SYAA. SYAA provides volleyball, football, basketball, baseball, and they're thinking about providing track, just depending on how much interest we can get for track as at the SYAA level. Students and they family attend church in our community. With it being such a small community, it does have a very strong religious background, and so that's another strong tie that our community has. Is they don't all go to the same church, but they all go to church, and so they'll have that in common, which is great. Our school board members are very well known through the community because, again, it is a small community. So we all know who they are and see them through town a lot, which is great. And then we get huge support from both family members and parents throughout the year um, with working after school, volunteering, all of that stuff. Really, we really work hard and have a huge support. So with our leadership, our superintendent, and then we have our school board members. Like I said, they're very well known. We have our donors to the school. We have several businesses that donate a lot to our community in general. Um, Not just to the school, but we have businesses that donate a lot to the community. If a kids movie is in the movie theater that we have, because we do just have one theater with one screen, and they show movies Saturday and Sunday night. If it's a good kids movie, sometimes the business will pay for any student or any child that wants to go see the movie, or they'll pay for free popcorn or something like that. Again, church staff, we have church staff that volunteer at our school a lot. Our principals, we have two principals, one in the elementary and one in the high school. Our volunteers, our athletic director, and then we have one person that does most of the IT in our school. We do have another person that does it part time, but we do have one main IT person. And then our community leader characteristics. The school board is vested in the school. We did get a new gym. It's called the Herndon Gym. It is a huge, beautiful gym. Um, it's 3 years old, and it's houses a lot of tournaments. A lot of tournaments come to our small community because we have a couple of gyms, including this one that's brand new, and so that really helps. That really helps local businesses, the restaurants and stuff. We also have um, outsourced speakers. Every once in a while, we do have a speaker that may come in. The sheriff's department does have a speaker that comes in occasionally and speaks to the junior high and high school about life choices and things you may not want to do, and how you want to do some things in life. We also have our veterans that come in on Veterans Day and talk to our students. Economic conditions. So their school relies on federal government and state funding. We are a tax exempt school and we are Title One. Transportation with our students, a lot of our students are bused in. We do have some students that live right around the school, so they just walk to school. Not all of our parents have driver's licenses, so they rely on other other people getting them places, sharing rides. I know that one of the feedlots or one of the dairies does have a shuttle, and they come around and pick up their employees if the employee needs a ride to work. Our superintendent does a really good job saving money and helping get the things we need for our school. We have not really been without anything that we really need or want, which is great because being a small school, we really don't have a ton of funding. And then with our teacher salaries, they're always trying to help increase our teacher salaries. We have one of the lower teacher salaries in the area. So with that, they're trying to increase our teacher salaries so that we do have teachers that will stay longer and help draw new teachers in. Some of the social tensions, non-English speaking students can be really difficult. We do have students that speak both English and Spanish, and they really help out a lot. But even then, it is sometimes hard for non-English speaking students playing or working with our non-Spanish speaking students. So that can cause some tension sometimes. Figuring out the groups, we do have some small cliques. In elementary, it's just the boys, and they're just kind of figuring out who they are and stuff like that. So we don't have too much of that uh, yet, but it's kind of starting to form at this point. And then misunderstandings happen constantly. It's just a vocabulary thing mostly in the third grade. Um, Not knowing exactly what words mean and how to go with or follow through with what you say. So that kind of sometimes causes an issue um, with some of the students and causing misunderstandings. Extra sources of information. The school board minutes are always posted up. We also have the PTA and PTO, and our Rotary Club is amazing. Our Rotary Club actually donates dictionaries to our students when they get to the third grade, and they get them big, full-size dictionaries, and the students absolutely love them. So that is really awesome. The students take those with them through elementary, junior high, and high school career, so that they have that book in their locker with them. And this year the students just absolutely loved them. They couldn't get enough. They always wanted to read them, which is a fantastic problem to have, is them wanting to always read their dictionaries and tell each other words where they had to find them. So power structures of operation. So we have a chain of command for our parents, which goes the teacher, the principal, the superintendent, and the school board. Sometimes parents try to leapfrog over somebody, but that doesn't work. We make sure that they follow the chain of command as protocol. But then we also have the chain of command for getting information out to the parents. What that is that's the information that we get to the parents. It first goes to the school board, then it goes through the superintendent, the principal, the teacher, faculty, and then the parents, to the parents and students. That way everybody knows what the information is that's going out to the parents. So if the parents have any questions, they can ask anybody, and there's no surprises. And that way, if I tell a parent something and then they ask the principal has my back and says, no, that's correct. That's the information that we are giving out. Student structure. So students lead the morning announcements every morning, which is awesome because it kind of gives them that leadership feeling. We also do, if a student does something really good, really nice, really kind for somebody else, they put a bone in the boneyard. We have Stuco. We have our Be the Eye and Kind sign. We have our Pups Assembly where we announce all kinds of good achievements. And then I personally do Pup Bucks, where students earn Pup Bucks and they can redeem those for something that I have in the classroom, various things that I've purchased or been given, anything like that. Again, that also gives them something to really work for and really, how to earn something, save it to buy something they really want. Um, so, multicultural issues. Um, just some of our directions are really hard for some of our students. Again, especially the non-English speaking students, because they may not have had to follow directions like these where they came from and in their culture. So it's sometimes really hard for new non-English speaking students to understand why we do what we do, and sometimes it's really hard for us to explain to them why we do what we do. But we do have a very diverse um, town and school. We really don't have too much of a dress code. It's just cover your tops and bottoms. It has to be obviously appropriate material and stuff like that, but we don't really have a strict dress code. Measuring public opinion. So unlike most schools, we don't really give out surveys for the parents to fill out. We do when they enter pre-K, but when we don't just do it every year. We do listen to our parents. We acknowledge, if they have a question, a concern, if they've had something come to them that they don't like. We do listen, understand, and work with the parents uh, with that issue. So we make sure that we do get that taken care of and increase the understanding that they have of what's going on. And then public opinion survey. So again, we don't really do a public opinion survey, but if we did, I would like to see us reach out to churches, local businesses, and then even people that don't have maybe a student in the school and still kind of get the opinions of those, just to see just an outside look, so that they don't have a horse in the race. So it's kind of, how do they feel? What could we do better? How can we be more out in the public? So just to kind of make it so we have a better understanding of what's going on in as a whole. So, but overall, we have a really strong school. We have a really strong community, and um, we're all working together really well. We have very few issues through the year, which is an amazing thing to say, because I know some schools and parents kind of have a hard time with each other. So, but we have a really good school and community.